There's not a chance that this Slither is going to initiate 1v2 and he's feeling pretty safe. This is another really important point. When you do have the opportunity to free farm, take it and make sure you make the most out of it. There's only one person in lane, farm as much as you can, stay close to the creep waves. Don't back off around here. As you can see, Pestilence is doing that. He's not backing off to the range creep anymore, to behind the range creep. He's getting his farm on. He sees Pyro come back into lane. Watch this. Gets one more last hit, stands back behind the range creep again. As soon as there's a second person in lane again, as soon as that harass is back up to its full potential, he's going back behind the range creep. Soul Reaper doesn't really look like he's doing much, but just his withering presence, his aura, is doing a fair bit of harassment on them. You can see when the aura comes on because you can see this nice little graphic underneath them, and it really is. Look at the health going down. It doesn't look like much, but it is a fair bit. It does add up if you keep in constant contact with them, in constant aura range, which it doesn't. I know this doesn't affect most players because I don't play a Soul Reaper babysit, but it's about using your skills as a babysitter to effectively help your carry farm. Soul Reaper gets stunned here, gets initiated on. Pestilence again comes in and stuns as soon as possible. In that case, Pyromancer would use both of his nukes, so he wasn't going to be able to take down Soul Reaper as easily. As well, Slither was on slightly less health, so the counter gank worked beautifully. Pestilence does die here. He probably could have avoided that death either by not going in or by slightly better positioning after he got the kill, or even running away. He might have been able to get away, but it's not likely. That was a judgment call. Going in for that gank was a judgment call. It didn't pay off this time because it was a 1-for-1 exchange where it was a ganker for a carry, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. While the carry is out of lane, Soul Reaper is just getting solo experience, not really going for last hits because he is low HP, but he is getting solo experience while he can. He's not backing off behind the creep wave when it's only 1 versus 1, and he's getting a slight advantage over what he would get if he was back at the tower playing defensively. Not much else happening here. Actually, yes, this is something interesting to note. The creeps are all the way back at the Legion Tower. Perfect time to pull. As you can see, Soul Reaper, he should be pulling the next creep wave at the very least, because they know that this creep wave is going to keep pushing. While Soul Reaper is out of lane pulling, Pestilence is not going to be going for last hits. What he's mainly focusing on here is getting experience, getting solo experience in the lane. Trying to last hit, 1 versus 2, as I've said before, is a guaranteed recipe for disaster, especially against such a good harass lane with the double nuke and the slow dot. As you can see, Soul Reaper pulls the creeps to the pool camp and effectively allows Pestilence a much safer farming time by having the creeps nearer to his tower when they engage. Something I like to sort of say: if the creeps are down here fighting, then there's a much higher chance that if they initiate on the Pestilence or the Soul Reaper, they will get the kill, because they don't have a tower to contend with, and Pestilence running back is going to have a much longer time before he can get to the safety of the tower. When they're over here, when the creeps are over here fighting, Pestilence just has to run literally, 3 seconds and he's back at the tower. There's about, I'd say, around a double the chance of a gank succeeding if they're in a position down here compared to a position up here. Maybe even more. They've got vision of these guys falling back to the tower, so Pestilence is playing aggressive in his farming. You'd think that when I say aggressive, I mean, he's going for ganks and stuff like that. What I mean aggressive farming. He's not staying behind the range creep. He's getting up there so he can get every last hit he can. The main problem with staying behind the range creep is there will be some last hits that you'll miss. You know, if you're right up near the creeps, then you will not miss a single last hit. You know, provided that you actually know how to last hit properly. The drawback of that is that you are in a much better position to be harassed. So Pestilence is just sitting back. He spots the Slither there. He knows that if he walks up, the Slither's going to go for a gank. But he's still getting any farm he can, even if it's on the Slither wards. He doesn't feel comfortable here. He sees the Pyros walking up, so he's going to fall back. Soul Reaper is really too low here to get an effective harassment on them if they decide to initiate, and also he's waiting for the courier to come. He gets initiated on here by the Slither. Immediately the Pestilence runs in and stuns the Pyromancer. He doesn't stun the Slither, he stuns the Pyromancer. The Pyromancer's got the highest chance to kill the Soul Reaper, so he wants to take them out of the game. The Soul Reaper died there, but he could have survived. He did sort of run around like a headless chicken just here, throwing down a heal bomb, which didn't really do much and end up with his death. As you can see, 2 ranged harassers against a single melee hero. The melee hero is sitting back really far, just getting experience. As soon as the Soul Reaper comes back, or when he cannot see them, so he feels pretty safe. You know, they could be over here, but he saw them running down here, so he could have at least gotten that one hit that he did get. Again, they go for the kill. Slither comes in and saves his teammate. You know, his teammate probably would have survived there, but he did help a lot. He gets the kill on the Pyro, merely from that one stun he did and following it up. They'd wasted all their nukes. He was pretty safe to go in and go for the kill there. That was a good counter gank. As there's only one in lane, there's only Slither in lane, he's free to farm as aggressively as he wants. They don't know that the Soul Reaper has left the lane. For all they know, the Soul Reaper could be here, where he's been for most of the game. He could be just here waiting for a harass chance. So the Slither is playing fairly defensively on half health. As it's getting close to the tower and he knows that the Pyro has respawned, Pestilence is now pulling the creeps because he knows he probably shouldn't be going in for a last hit. Going in for a last hit here would be dangerous. Pulling the creeps is a much safer option. We can sort of fast forward a little bit here because not much happening. Soul Reaper going back to base. Pestilence getting free farm because there's no one in his lane. And let's stop here. Again,